Hello, good morning. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh, I'm so excited. Today's going to be amazing. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. How is everybody this morning? Good, I hope. Well, some of you are probably not so good since you're here and you want to get coached. All righty. So as we have people coming in, go ahead. You guys can start typing things in to the chat. Oh no, Kate, you should be able to. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right. Welcome. Start typing in anything you'd like to be coached around. Hello, hello, hello. All righty. Okay, great, David. That's fascinating. I bet you there's a connection. All right, Kate. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Sorry, my contacts were being weird. All right. Okay. Yes, Deb, this is a webinar, so it's just me and then whoever gets coached. Y'all get to have fun in the chat. Thanks, Alejandro. It's still real messy, but thanks. That's interesting, Jürgen. You guys are so funny. I love this call. Oh. Okay. Oh, good, Leona. I'm so glad. Thanks for putting up with my hecticness one day post surgery. Okay. All right, we're gonna go with Kate. Ah, yes, Kate. Kate. Right. All right. Oh, you're so welcome. It was great. It was wonderful. Hello. Hi, cat. What's your cat's name?
This is Rocky. He's
Hi,
my
Rock. That's so fun. All right. Hey, how's it going besides what you put in the chat?
I'm gonna cry, so that's all there is to it. And I have my
Okay,
tissues here.
that's okay.
Um, I'm really stressed and I'm struggling to use all of the tools and everything that I've learned over the years, all the things that I have done. Like, I know I have made a lot of shifts in the last 6 months, like with my business and everything. And it's getting to the point now where it's like something has to give. I'm out of the time that I kept telling myself that I had. Like, I know that starting a business takes time. I know that building clientele takes time. And then I've also heard that that's a story. So like I have all this like stuff like floating around in my head, and I've eaten through my savings. I'm like I tried to go get a serving job last week and the place wasn't hiring. Like I the story that I'm telling myself is that I'm doing everything that I can think of, and it's still not enough.
So, what would be the most important thing to talk about and focus on for this call today?
I want to feel like I have choices. Like I'm not just backed into that corner that I want to bury my head in.
Okay. So, what would you like to have at the end of this call?
This is the question I've been asking myself all morning. Obviously I know it's coming, right? And I'm a little bit at war with myself between what I want is remembering that even though there are things that I have tried in the past, that they could still be worth trying again, like in terms of reaching social media. Like I part of it is I know that I have a block against, I feel like I'm putting things out on social media and it hasn't served a purpose, and yet that's also my only method at the moment. So feeling like it's worth doing those again, or feeling like I have the clear steps that I want to take to move forward this afternoon. I think that's what I'm going to go with.
What does that look like specifically?
Oh no, Isabella. um, it looks like a renewed sense of faith in myself. It looks like an ability for me to remember that I can trust myself to navigate uncertainty and discomfort, and just overall the feeling of a more abundance than scarcity.
So, how are you going to know that you have this renewed sense of faith in yourself and that you know that you can trust yourself to navigate these times and that you can shift more into this abundance mindset? How do you know you have those?
Well, I know the way that I'm going to answer this is that I have hours after this call, so I have time. And the path that I'm continuing on right now, if I wasn't getting coached, would be me spending that time in paralysis and not doing anything. So I'm gonna know that I have those things when I leave here feeling eager to go do something with my time. More action, less thinking.
So, if you don't have choices, how is that a problem?
Makes me very frustrated. Makes me feel very frustrated. It makes me feel like I have no freedom, like I'm restrained. Um, it takes away what little bit of control I feel like I have.
And if control is taken away and you feel restrained, like you have no freedom, how's that a problem?
Then I'm gonna shut down and not do anything. I'm gonna ostrich and I'm gonna bury my head in the sand. even though that's not something that I want to do.
So what do you take it to mean about yourself when you shut down and just shove your head in the sand?
I would take it to me more about myself if that was something that I actually did. Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would feel like a failure in some ways because I was no longer trying, no longer looking for lessons.
So if you're a failure, how's that a problem?
Given that my definition of being a failure is not learning from situations and not finding a way to move forward, it would be a problem because I wouldn't, I don't know, I'm afraid I would just completely shut down. Like I would be in constant meltdown mode.
So what impact would being in a constant meltdown mode or shut down have on, let's just start in business?
Well, I would for sure be selling my house and moving in with my parents because I have to support myself somehow, and that would feel like my only option. And to be clear, I've talked about this with my parents, and it's not a situation any of us want.
And what impact would being in this constant meltdown mode, just shut down, have on money?
I wouldn't feel capable of making any money. I wouldn't feel capable of running a business. I wouldn't feel capable of making money. I wouldn't feel capable of anything.
So when you think about not being capable of anything, what are your negative thoughts and emotions?
It's just blankness. Um, like I've worked so hard to be capable.
Go ahead, close your eyes. When you think about not being capable of anything, what are your negative thoughts and emotions?
It's just sadness, hurt. Like I've let myself down. I don't want to be someone who lets myself down.
So if you are somebody who lets yourself down, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
Weak, unimportant. Worthless. It's not quite the right word.
Okay. Weak, unimportant, maybe worthless.
Yeah, just like there's no point.
Mhm.
So hopeless and helpless.
Can I state an observation that's going to be kind of phrased like a question?
Yes, absolutely.
So you had said sadness, hurt, and then letting yourself down. Would you consider, this is going to be my word, just based off of what you had said earlier in some of the coaching, would you consider that betrayal if you let
Yeah.
yourself down?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, 100%.
Okay. The reason I ask is because at the beginning you had said like you need to feel like you have choices and that you're not backed into a corner. And if you're letting yourself down and you have this kind of like sense of like self-betrayal, I'm starting to put some puzzle pieces together. So I would, but I didn't want to put words in your mouth.
It's me backing myself into a corner. Yeah.
What's your definition of choice or choices?
Choice is freedom. Choice means, I mean, control is coming back again. It's a way to have some power. It's a way to control what I can. Like when I have choices, then I know that I get to feel confident in what I've picked, if that makes any sense, because it's a way for me to like just garner some control. I get to choose, therefore I get to have something I want.
What what would happen if you never had an ounce of control over anything in your life ever again?
Part of me says that I don't have an ounce of control over much of it to begin with in the first place. Like I think a lot of what humans do in general is trying to gain control where there isn't any control to be had.
Yeah.
And
The part of you that wants the control.
the part of me that wants the control is like I wouldn't like it. That would be really stupid. It almost feels like something is being taken away from me in that way. I guess unimportant is coming up again. Like I'm not important enough to get to choose what I want. Ooh, that definitely relates back to something. Don't know what, but something.
Okay. So you said choice is also a way to have some power.
Hmm.
Presupposes if you don't have choice, you would be powerless.
Be powerless, yes.
So when you think about being unimportant and powerless when it comes to things being taken away from you, how is that impacting your life?
It's like all encompassing. Um, becomes all that I can think about. Takes away focus from what's actually important. It makes me angry. And anger is an emotion that I struggle with. Um, in part because I never learned how to healthily express it. And so it's kind of felt like a futile emotion.
So what would happen if you got angry?
Good question. Doesn't happen often. Um, when I get angry, I want to rage and I want to like break things and I want to tear it all down. So I guess self-sabotage. I don't want to sabotage myself anymore.
So it makes sense that if unconsciously you're angry at the all-encompassing notion of being powerless and unimportant is just taking up all of your time and your focus, that you would then start to self-sabotage in your conscious waking everyday life. And that it would seem like you're doing everything and nothing's changing or working. And it also makes sense that you would forget or not be able to use the tools you've been learning, right? Because it's not even on your radar. So
Frustration keeps coming up this week.
say that one more time.
It explains why frustration keeps coming up this
Yeah.
week.
Yes. Yeah. Let's call it what it is, Kate. Let's call it anger.
Okay.
Let's just call it what it is. We're not gonna suppress it. It's anger.
That's fair.
Let's be angry, okay? And let's actually get pissed off. Let's rage. Let's be like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
It is also fucked.
Yes. So if you were to acknowledge the anger and the rage that you have towards, I mean, I'm not going to cut corners here, towards yourself, right? Because that's really what it is. It's anger and rage towards yourself. If you
It's
really acknowledge that and associate into that, what are you afraid of?
not coming back from it.
Okay, how specifically would you not come back from it?
I'm afraid, like, where energy goes, or where attention goes, energy flows. And so part of it is feeling like if I were to turn into that anger, that it would be all that I'd be capable of seeing anymore.
So how would that be a problem if you were to see anger?
I don't want to be angry. Angry doesn't feel good. Angry doesn't feel like when I'm truly in the throes of anger, there's no rationalizing. There's no figuring out how to move forward. There's no seeing what you can use from it because it's just like the anger is right there and so up close and in your face and
Out of control?
yeah, out of control. Goddamn control. That's my onion. Where other people are like, I've already dealt with this. That's my layer of onion that keeps coming back.
Fair enough, understandable. When was the first time you really, really like lost yourself in like the anger or the rage?
It's coming up as an I don't know the first time. It's just what I did. It's what I did as a kid because I didn't know how to be any different. A lot of screaming and yelling, a lot of meltdowns.
And when was the first time that you thought that you were powerless and unimportant?
I don't know. All I'm getting is kind of an image of me cowering when I was maybe 3. I know part of what's coming up is like anytime that I got angry, my dad would get angry. And I'm fighting with myself to rationalize it right now. It's what I want to
Don't
do. I
rationalize it.
know.
We
I
can't
know.
we can't get rid of it if we rationalize it.
I
Get
know.
out of here, conscious mind.
I when I would get really emotional or really angry, my dad would get really angry, and then it would lead to like basically us feeding off of each other. And often me punching holes or kicking holes in the wall. When I was little, I would have such intense meltdowns that like I know that they were autistic meltdowns, and it was so bad that my parents would the lock on my bedroom door was turned around so that they would lock me in my bedroom for which I realize sounds abusive. It's for my own like safety. It was so that well, it was probably mostly for their safety so that I wasn't raging against them. Um, and now I'm getting a correlation between like shutting myself in my house all the time and being sent to my bedroom when I have a whole bunch of feelings.
So, Kate, when are you going to stop protecting the world from yourself and actually just go out there and live your life?
That is what I'm doing.
So, when you think about, I'm going to use my own word here. This isn't your word. And when you think about being isolated for everybody else's protection, what do you take that to mean about yourself?
I'm dangerous, uncontrollable. Misunderstood. Like I'm doing something bad, like punishment, like I'm punishing myself. What's coming up right now is also a little bit of being mad at myself for not being able to figure this out on my own.
Stop it. It's not your job to figure it out on your own. So stop it.
Feels like it is my job.
It would make sense if you were sent to your room to figure out your emotions. It would also make sense why you don't want to be angry, because anger has only ever been associated with punishment. And right now you're in a space where you're like, I can't take one more punishment. So if you're dangerous, uncontrollable, misunderstood, bad, needing to be punished, what are your negative thoughts and emotions?
I want to get indignant. I want to fight that. There's so many thoughts and emotions that come up that it's like I just want to explode.
I write fast, explode.
I don't I don't have words. Um, can you ask me again?
Yeah. Sometimes it helps when you close your eyes so you can associate. Okay. So when you think about being dangerous, uncontrollable, misunderstood, bad, needing to be punished, what are your negative thoughts and emotions?
Feeling small, feeling like I have to hide, feeling like I need to protect myself. Feeling like I want to strike out. Just there's a part of me that I contribute to a pervasive demand for autonomy, where when somebody tells me I can't do something, my initial thought is, well, screw you, then I'm gonna do it anyway. Like I'll show you, I'll prove to you.
Fair enough.
It's that same kind of thing that's coming up right now.
Okay, so needing to prove yourself.
Yeah. Needing to prove that they're wrong. Prove that they're wrong and that I'm right. It's also coming up. So some ego is in there too. I'm just so tired of it all.
So yeah, what else are your other negative thoughts and emotions around being dangerous, uncontrollable, misunderstood?
Well, control again is coming up. Like out of control. The phrase that just came to mind is something my sister called me when I was little, and it was Hurricane Kate. Because I could have these like temper tantrums and I could have these meltdowns, and they were basically like a hurricane. And what my sister was also trying to get me to see was that I was a force to be reckoned with. Didn't have to all be like a negative kind of thing. It's like part of also what else is coming up, and I don't quite know how to get this put into words, but like hurricanes, they're very destructive, and there's something to deal with. And like at the same time, it's not really the hurricane's fault. Hurricane is just being a hurricane because that's what it knows to do. I don't know, maybe I'm trying to rationalize that label now.
I think the second part of it was more of a rationalization than what you had said
Yeah.
before, because when you had said a force to be reckoned with, you were associated. And then as soon as you started trying to rationalize it, you popped out of all emotion and tried to make logical sense of it instead of an emotional sense of it,
Okay.
which is okay.
Well, compassion also started to come up for myself then though. It was like
Yeah, it started with a force to be reckoned with.
it did. Yeah. I felt like that broke the barrier that I needed it to break.
So what happens when you focus on an emotional understanding versus a logical understanding?
I don't know how to I don't know how to do that. That doesn't make any sense to me, Isabella.
Let me ask this in a different way. This is going to be okay. This is going to be like a really long walk around to get to what I was going to say, and I think it'll make a bit more sense.
I'm here for it.
What would happen if when you're in a situation, you understand the emotions that are either coming up for you, for your client, for whatever. And then you make a logical understanding based off of what you understood from the emotion versus coming in being like, get out of here, emotion. Let's just rational. Let's just figure this out. So, what would be different if you were to add in the emotional aspect of deductive thinking?
And it feels like what I've been working to do.
I know. That's why I asked.
Yeah, and I'm getting myself to an answer. Well, I mean, what's coming up for me is, and I don't know this is necessarily what you were asking, and it's where my unconscious wants to take it, is that in the past I wouldn't have been able to distinguish between those. And that is something that I can distinguish now. Um, I feel like I've made strides in terms of actually letting myself feel emotions as opposed to pushing them down because they didn't make any kind of logical or intellectual sense. Um, and there are still times when I do it and I don't realize that I'm doing it. So it's almost like that question is like it's like that that is the question, yes, and I don't know how to to answer it because it's something that I'm still working through for myself. Intellectualizing is a big habit.
And I will say, because you said it at the beginning, you're like, I know I have come so far. You have. The Kate that I met when she first joined Genius Unlocked would not get on this call and cry, first off.
No, probably
nor
not.
nor would she be so open to emotions. So you have 100%. The reason I ask is because I know it's been something you are working on and wanting to shift. What if that is the thing that has to give? Right at the beginning, you're like, something has to give. What if this is the thing that gives?
How?
Through coaching.
Okay.
And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like a one and done kind of thing. We're not just going to finish this coaching session and you're going to be like, I never rationalize anything ever again. I always think with emotion. No, 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 no. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this, if this is the thing that gives versus the other things that you have been afraid of losing.
I would love for that to be the thing that gives.
And the reason I say that is because I see it giving. I see the, oh, I want to say battle. It's not parts, but I can see the internal battle of like you wanting to go to this like emotional place to bring in the emotion as well as the logical thinking instead of just going straight for like the analyzing of it. It just with Hurricane Kate, which by the way I think would be a fantastic brand. Hurricane Kate, she comes in and she fucks up all your shit. You're welcome. Okay. Sidebar. um when you brought in before you started to analyze what the label, the identity of Hurricane Kate was, you considered it from your sister's perspective and it brought in the emotions. So I see it working that way. That's why I'm like, okay, that is the thing that if that gives, that can be the thing that falls away instead of focusing on the other things that you're scared of losing. Now we kind of got like a little sidetracked. That was my totally intended to get sidetracked. I always do. I love rabbit holes and I don't have time for rabbit holes.
I also love rabbit holes. It's my whole thing.
It's the best part. Okay. So before we go into the needs and all of that, I want to connect this back to money specifically, because that is what you had put in the chat was around money. I know at the beginning it started more from like choices and like having choices. And I know that money was kind of a big part of that,
Mhm.
especially with like something needs to change so I make more money so that I can keep my house and I don't have to move back into my parents and so on. It's a domino effect.
Yep.
So I'm I'm starting to build up the other side just a little bit before we go into like the needs and the suppressed identity, because yes, that's important. And I think you need to see just the what if of things being different before we go into it all. I think that's going to help a bit more because of how all encompassing this has become.
Mhm.
So, what can be different in money? It doesn't necessarily need to be just in business, like money can come from anywhere. So, what can be different in money when you are not one protecting the world from yourself and protecting yourself from the world? When you are not trying to prove people wrong that you're right and you're not trying to prove yourself, and when you're not this uncontrollable, misunderstood bad person, it can be different about money.
Something that's been shifting for me the past couple of weeks, and it feels related to this, is my old story with money was that wanting it is wrong, that wanting it is greedy, and that it's unethical was essentially where I was at. And the shift that I have made now is that it's it's only unethical if I choose to then spend it in ways that feel unethical to me. And therefore now it's become something that like I want because I feel like it's an extension of my values. I get to use it in a way that aligns with like who I am at this moment in my life and the things that are important to me. And what's important to me is helping other people. Um, Proving that there are other ways to have money than perhaps some people in the public eye let on to show. And so like what shifts to me is the idea of like, I don't have to feel guilty to receive money. Like it doesn't have to be in exchange for something that I feel is worth it. Like something that's coming up is what I just read in The Alchemist this morning. That was like somebody was like, if someone wants to pay you for something and you tell them that they're paying too much for it, that then you are devaluing yourself and that you're putting it out into the world that you shouldn't be getting back more than that. And it feels like it's related in a way that I'm kind of on the edge of in terms of like I don't know. I think part of my energy, what I've been unconsciously giving out, has been that people shouldn't be giving me more, that I shouldn't be receiving money for like whatever reason. And that's what would shift.
Love it. So, when you were 3 and you were just having these, in your words, meltdowns, and that they were intense and you would get locked in your room for protection and you thought that you were dangerous and uncontrollable and misunderstood and that you were doing something bad and needing a punishment, whether it was from somebody else or yourself, and you felt small and that you had to hide and protect yourself and prove that people were wrong and that you're right. What did you need that you didn't get?
Someone to tell me that I wasn't wrong for feeling everything that I was feeling, that having emotions is perfectly natural, and that maybe I'm someone who experiences them stronger than others. I don't know. And like that's okay. That's not bad. Um Emotions in and of themselves aren't good or bad. They are information. So what I needed was somebody who could help me translate the emotions that I was experiencing into the information that I needed from them. Um, Someone who wouldn't like push me away.
Okay, so instead of not getting pushed away, what did you need?
It's almost like, well, I guess the opposite of that would be someone coming closer. And to me, it feels like it's more about like it would be permission to feel whatever I feel. Um, the freedom and the space to process those emotions. I needed also clarity and understanding. And I needed to know that like making myself small wasn't the answer, nor is making myself big. Like just I can be who I am. And emotions don't have to be scary or dangerous.
Is there anything else you needed that you didn't get?
What's coming up for me is it's the stuff that I needed I didn't get is the stuff that I have been getting for myself now. The best words that I have for that. No, I needed to know that I was worth it and lovable.
So because you needed acknowledgement of emotions, you needed somebody to teach you, to support you, to model for you. You needed support translating emotions into information and then like what to do with that information. You needed the permission to feel whatever you needed to feel and have the freedom and the space to do so. You needed clarity and understanding and to just be who you are and to know that you're worth it and lovable. Because you needed all of that and didn't get it, what qualities and characteristics of yourself did you suppress?
Learning how to do that for myself. It's something I've had to almost manually teach myself. Um, my ability to process emotions as they arise and then still be able to function. It's also something I've had to learn to do. And in some ways, some creativity, seeing possibility and choice where there previously didn't seem to be any.
What else did you suppress?
What's coming up right now is that my parents were the only ones that I could turn to. And so like I suppressed being able to turn to anybody else.
What else?
I'm getting that I suppressed some resentment, actually. Yeah, what's coming up is that I suppressed some resentment, and so that's why it's coming up now, so that I can process it and release it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What else did you suppress about yourself?
Aspects of the hurricane. Um,
Okay, what are they? What aspects? Tell me.
well, just that force that I know that I'm someone who's meant to help people think about things in different ways and see things from different perspectives that they hadn't considered. And it's not always what they want, but it is always what they need. And I suppressed I suppressed that there's good and bad in everything. It made it become more extremes. I suppressed a lot of the gray, the nuance, the space in between. Um, yeah, I made it black and white so that I could understand it. So it felt like there was some certainty. And now I'm bringing back in the gray.
So when you know that you have the ability to acknowledge your emotions, to translate those emotions into information, and then to put that information to use for you. And you know that you don't need permission and you have it anyway to feel whatever you need to feel. And you have the freedom and the space to feel it. And you have clarity and understanding. And you get to be who you are. And you get to know that you're worth it and you're lovable. And you get to learn how to do things yourself. You have the ability to process your emotions as they come up and have creativity. You get to see the possibility and the choice. You get to turn to others for anything, support, help, love, whatever, money. You know that you are a force to be reckoned with to change people's lives in ways that they're not able to see. You get to be Hurricane Kate in the best way possible. And you get to bring back that gray and that space in between, and you get to see all of the details and all of the things, and it's not just one extreme to another. So when you know you have all of that and you are all of that and you get to be all of that, what are your positive thoughts and emotions?
Excitement, curiosity, determination, freedom, the ability to just experience life completely and richly, and the ability to keep moving even if it's slow, even if it's hard. Grit.
What about some more positive emotions?
Alignment. Like I get to live the life that I want. Um, well, and I'm deserving. I'm worthy. I'm struggling to say it, so I'm gonna say it. I'm lovable.
Yeah.
Passion and kindness. Just a really big desire to do this for other people.
Mhm. When you have excitement.
Transformation.
Oh, say that one more time.
Transformation.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, what did you say?
I was saying when you have excitement and curiosity and determination and freedom and the ability to just experience life completely and richly and to just keep moving, you got grit and you're in alignment and you're living the life that you want because you're deserving and worthy and lovable and you have compassion and kindness and you have just massive transformation and you know that you can bring that not just to yourself but to the world. What are the qualities and characteristics of Hurricane Kate when all of that is true?
I'm powerful. Um, Curious. I'm I like the words that are coming up. I'm like destructive, and I don't mean destructive in like the way that destructive is often meant. I mean destructive in a way of like tearing down what needs to be torn down so that new things can be built. Um, yeah, I like disruptive. I'll take that one. Um, yeah, it's like it is the ability to disrupt the status quo and to make the changes and like the ability to help build conscious leadership, the best way that I have to put it. Um, yeah, sometimes it's better to tear down and rebuild than it is to fix a faulty foundation.
So, what else? What are other qualities and characteristics? You're powerful and curious, and you're out with the old and in with the new. This disruptive. What else?
Um, Creative, like a ability to see things from a different perspective, to come at things from different angles and think about things differently. It's like a cleansing. It's the best way I know how to put it. I don't know. It's like it all just like everything else seems so minor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm it's a desire, a yeah, passion's coming up again and compassion. Having more compassion for myself as well. It's not something that I thought that I was lacking and finding more ways to offer it to myself.
You can never have too much for yourself. All right.
No.
So, here's the big one. When you have an R and B and know and just are all of these things, when you have the acknowledgement of emotions, you're able to translate those emotions into information and you know how to use that information. You have permission to feel whatever it is you want to feel and need to feel. You have the freedom and space to do so. You have clarity and understanding. You get to be who you are, know that you're worth it, and know that you're lovable. And when you learn how to do things on your own, you have the ability to process your emotions as they come up. You have creativity. You're seeing possibility and choice everywhere you go where it might not have been before. You have the ability to turn to others for anything: support, safety, love, money. You are a force to be reckoned with, and you're seeing all the grays, all the details, the space in between. And you have excitement and curiosity and determination and freedom and the ability to experience life completely and richly and to just keep moving. You've got grit and alignment, and you're living a life that you want. You're deserving and worthy and lovable. And you have compassion and kindness and transformation, not only just for yourself, but for the world. And Hurricane Kate is a powerful mofo. She's curious and she is disruptive. She is out with the old, in with the new. She's creative and she is able to come at things from different angles and perspectives. And there's just this cleansing and this passion and compassion for self. So when you know you are all of that and you are all of that, what can be different about really just having choice?
It it makes the money feel like it's just a detail to be dealt with, as opposed to I don't know, the end all be all. I guess like it's it it gives me more faith in continuing to do what I am excited and invested in to do, like doing the things that I care about with it without as much I need these to turn into money pressure. It gives me more of that like space that I need to figure out the right next steps, to figure out what to do next.
And when you have all of those things and you are all of those things and you just be all of those things and you have all of that, thinking that money is just this detail and you still get to do what you love and it doesn't need to turn into anything. There's not much pressure. Do you believe that you're going to be able to give things a chance again that might not have worked in the past, and to know that you have clear steps to take moving forward?
I have faith in myself that I'll be able to figure out those clear steps, and that the first thing that I'm going to do is what interests me. um yeah, a little bit of freedom in that way.
So it sounds like you have this renewed sense of faith in yourself and trust in yourself to navigate whatever situation you're
Yeah.
in, and to have this abundance mindset, and perhaps are feeling a bit eager to go do something after this call is over and go take some action.
Yep, one way or another.
Yeah. So what are you going to do when we hang up this call? What's the first thing you're going to do?
No, sit and process for a minute. And
Okay,
then
fair enough. Then, then,
and then I something that I thought of yesterday was like a 75-minute session, like a get unstuck session. And that's that's where I'm heading next, is figuring out how to announce that, if you will.
perfect. Perfect. You're going to make it happen. You're going to make it work.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, is there anything else you need to talk about today in order to feel whole and complete?
No, it's what Laura said, and I'm gonna take some action, not just think about it. That's
That, that's right.
that's what I'm gonna do.
I freaking love it. All righty. So, thanks for hanging out with us for a couple extra minutes. I don't mind hanging on if you all have questions. We were just in it. I didn't want to stop. Okay. So if there are any questions, if you have anything that you either want to share or questions or anything, this was a great session. I really loved this. This was lots of fun. I'm serious. That's like good branding right there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that.
I see like a little logo. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? We'll stay on for a couple more minutes. I'm sure some of you are typing. How can I support Kate with further processing? Great question. There's different ways depending on there's different ways. So like Kate, she's a really cool person and she is an Albie. And so she has like a Slack channel with the team. So Kate can always go into her Slack channel and be like, hey guys, I have this question or I need this or what this is coming up and blah, blah, blah. And she's got access to the team. So we can always talk a little bit more one-on-one. She's got some rapid releases. As of after this call, it's up to Kate what she needs, right? I can't tell Kate how to process or what to process or what to do in processing or what even processing looks like for her. And I can always just offer up resources, right? I can be like, Kate, one of the things that you said was that you can now turn to others for anything. So Kate can turn to the Slack channel. She can turn to the Facebook group. She can turn to you guys, right? If she needs to. So I can always just remind her of her resources and things like that to support her in whatever her processing looks like. That's a good question.
And I know on my end, part of it is I need time to sit and think. And that's not something that is like on you. And I don't mean like sit and get like lost in thought. I just need time to like sit with it, like meditate with it and let it go. So
Yeah. 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 The hot seat, it's a lot all at once. It's like whiplash. You're like, whoa. Okay. Well, you got lots of love in the chat, Kate.
yes, thank you, everybody.
And I'm so glad that some of you guys were able to then bring this into yourself and to feel where you have similar thoughts and emotions or stuck areas. So I'm so glad that you guys were able to experience this. Oh, David, you're so funny. Will you be able to coach like me? Absolutely. You will. It takes lots of practice. And yes, as you come through Activate and Evolve and Elevate and like 9 bajillion 100 hours of coaching, yes, you can. You too can be like me.
If you see it in her, it means it's a projection and that you can have it too.
Absolutely. So I started out not knowing how to coach at all. Didn't even know it was a thing. Oh, you're so sweet, David. You guys, this is why I love doing this because it inspires you guys. And then you guys go out there and you guys change the world too. Oh, I love the ripple effect. It's amazing. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out 9 or so extra minutes. Stop it. You guys are so nice. Make me blush. Thanks for hanging out an extra 10 or so minutes with us. It's always worth it. It's always worth it when we go over time. Thank you all for all of your love and support and just holding this space in this container. Thanks for all the love you've sent to Kate. Thank you, Kate, for opening up and just laying it all out on the table, allowing us to support you. Thank you, everybody. And you're welcome for all of you saying thank you. You're welcome. You all are amazing too. Thank you for just the energy that you bring to these calls each week. You all are amazing. I will see you all next time. Remember, since we were talking about money, we are doing the Wealth Accelerator. So tonight there's a breath work. So Trina's running a breath work. So if you aren't registered for it, you should have an email. If you don't have an email, write into customer care. I believe it's at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I was
It's
like,
at 7
don't quote
Eastern.
me on that. 4 p.m. Pacific. If you haven't registered, just send a message into customer care. We'll send you all of that. Yes, there's going to be a replay. So if you don't quite get it, live. Don't worry. So we're going to do like a money, like a wealth breath works. It's going to be amazing. Keep doing all the wealth challenges each day. They're so much fun, and they're going to keep you in that abundance mindset, right? Stay in the energy. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Hopefully I see you just in Facebook doing all the wealth things. And if not, I'll see you next Tuesday. So much love to you all. Goodbye, everybody.